Hey guys, it is straight up noon here in Dallas or Central. So I wanted to go ahead and get started to be really mindful of your time. I know some of you are logging in from work and from all kinds of places. And I want to be really respectful of Tricia's time because one thing I know about her is that she's really efficient. In fact, she did a call for our friend Rebecca Folks the other day for her podcast. And Rebecca was like, I came with all these follow-up questions, but like Tricia already had it like ready to go from the beginning. Like she was like, it was the most efficient like podcast. And so I know that time and like order is really important. And I think like all of us can like identify with the desire to be orderly and the desire for cleanliness and the desire for everything to kind of have its place. But Tricia, if you don't follow her, is on Instagram as Clean House with Kids. Make sure I'm saying it correctly. Clean House with Kids. And there's a difference I have learned from her in minimalism and simplified. And I think that if you are looking for someone who's just simplifying things and doing it really well and doing it really out loud and kind of messy, like, hey, it's not always perfect, but I'm working through it. Like it is so fun to get to follow along. If you've ever heard the phrase like, no, trust factor, here's what's amazing about Tricia is the next time you see her in person, you will feel like you like her. That's easy. You will know her because she shows up so well, and you will trust her because she shows you the highs and lows of life. Raising 7 kids, having her husband Nat. I mean, I got to follow along with them finding their house. I was fully invested. I felt like I was like picking out a house for myself. I was like, yeah, that backyard's just not big enough. Oh, it's too close to people. Like I felt fully invested there. So if you want to know how to show up well for other people, but also while living your life, I just think that it is so much fun. Tricia is a high ranking ambassador. She's a diamond ambassador, but also like sometimes that means one thing in our company, but what I see with Tricia is that she shows up well for all of her people. She has incredible leaders underneath her. She has developed amazing leaders. She has recruited from kind of this place, and I think it'd be interesting to hear, but I think she actually personally did not know most of her leaders prior to Plexus, like outside of Plexus. And most of these, and I know currently where she's building is almost all strangers, for lack of a better term, but strangers that are turning into friends and business partners as they do this together. So if you're saying to yourself, I don't know enough people, listen up. If you're saying, I don't know what to do next, this is the call for you. If you're saying, but maybe I'm not like everybody else, I was telling her earlier today, watching people not understand her world and speak honestly against homeschooling or against the simplified life. And she's like, that's fine. I'm going to continue on the path that God has laid out for me. And you can come alongside or you can choose not to. And I just think that is such a gift and vision. So I'm going to be quiet because I am so excited about this call. Tricia, thank you so much for taking time out to speak to us.
Hey, that was such a sweet introduction. I loved it. Thank you. Okay, so I went fast start Ruby last month in 37 days. And so I kind of wanted to talk to you through my strategies, because there is no way you can wake up in the morning and be like, you know what, I'm going to go from 0 points to 541 points in 37 days just by like hoping and praying and posting and like, I hope something's going to happen. So yes, I've worked this business since 2016, but what I've done in the past since June 24th is a tight system. It is a tight system with a lot of action and grit and like, yeah. And that's what I want to share with you guys, because I want you to see that you can do this. Okay. But it is not going to be easy. I actually heard Jessie Lee, who is one of my favorite people. Like I was listening to her before I got on this call. She said, if someone told you this was going to be easy, they were lying to you. Okay. What I have been doing has been frankly very hard. Okay. But it is incredibly worth it, because I believe that success loves speed, and I believe that it can be done. And so I am basically proving to myself this absolutely can be done. And one big reason why I'm doing it is because when I started, you guys, I started in 2016, and I started in May 2016. Okay. We had basically no income coming in. Mass business had failed. And I saw other people coming in and going to Jewel very, very quickly. One being Andrea Mitchell. I've watched her video. It was like how I got to Emerald in like a certain amount of days, right? I've watched that video multiple times, but I didn't do it. I didn't do it. And I came and I thought to myself, I've got the work ethic. I already had followers on Instagram. Like, why couldn't I do this, right? And in the time that it was supposed to take for me to go to Emerald, I had a struggling gold team where most of them were quitting. And it's because I frankly did not know what I was doing. I was brand new. I felt like I was doing all the things, but I didn't know what to do. And so now I'm like, I've been doing this business. I'm good at this business. And I'm basically back at it with the same goal. I want to be Emerald in, I don't even know, like 6 months or something. Okay. But it's going to take massive amounts of action. And this is how I'm doing it. So my first strategy, you guys, is belief. And I know that some of you are like, hold on. Like, I want practicality, right? Like, how is belief a strategy? I am telling you, this is the most important thing I am going to say to you today. Okay, is belief that you can. So this is how I started my reentry account. So I'm at convention, back up. I've been working Mass Emerald account for 4 years, spinning my wheels, recruiting. I've gotten golds, I've gotten senior golds, I've gotten silvers, I've gotten senior silvers, spinning my wheels. It has been incredibly frustrating. And I have taken all that criticism and put it back on myself. Like, I am failing as a leader. I am failing as a person. I don't know what I'm doing, right? When I thought I knew what I was doing, right? But basically, I needed something new. I needed a new challenge. I needed to try something new. And my husband was saying to me, try something different. So I'm at convention. I'm talking to Emily Roberts. We have a chance meeting in the hallway. We start talking points. We start talking accounts. And I'm like, well, Matt's saying I need to like start my reentry. And she's like, Scott's been saying the same thing. And I'm like, oh my word, we have got to do this. So I take my phone. I go back into the auditorium. Some speaker's about to come out, right? And I'm like, I passed my RSM. And I was like, can I just go start my reentry? And she's like, go start with your reentry. So I literally started. And then I was like, so scared. I was so scared. I was like, oh my word, like, no one's gonna like, well, what's gonna happen? Like all the feelings, right? So I'm like, I'm gonna blast it everywhere because then I can't back out of this, right? So I blast it everywhere. Like I'm going for this, I'm re-entering and I'm gonna go for this. Then I made a reel and I'm like, oh my word, I'm doing this. I'm starting a third plexus business, right? And I was like, okay, now I can't back out. In my mind, I thought to myself, guys, this is as recent as June. I thought to myself, I can totally go silver. I'm a good recruiter. I can totally go silver. So I went silver. Okay. Now it's like, no, it was June 24th. Okay. And I'm like, should I go for senior silver? I don't know. All right, sure, I'll go for it. So I went for senior silver and I hit it. At this point, you guys, I have 2 days left in the month. 2 days left in the month. I'm a senior silver. Okay. And I thought to myself, if my level 1 came to me on June 28th or whatever and said, Tricia, I'm at 54 points. I was at 54 points and said, should I go for gold? What would I tell them? Okay. And I was like, well, that's a no brainer. I'd be like, go for gold. Right. And so I was like, I have to take that upon myself. Right. I'm a leader. I got to create my own momentum. And I was like, I'm going to go for gold. And I hit it. Okay. Now the next month starts July. And I'm like, ooh, let me think about it. Let me run my numbers. Okay. And in July, you guys, I started something that is a game changer. If you do not have this, you have to go buy it right now. Okay. It will not break your budget. Are you ready for it? It is a whiteboard. If you do not want to get a whiteboard, go get Post-it notes. On July 1st, I was like, can I go senior gold? I'm going to write out from 0 to 250 by 6 points each so that I can have a visual when I wake up of Xing them off. Okay. So I hit, and I had all these numbers in my head. I always have the numbers in my head. You got to obsess over the numbers. Okay. So I was like, okay, if I can hit like 125 by the 15th, then I can go for senior gold. Okay. You guys, hit senior gold on the 21st. No. I hit it on the 24th. I did it again, you guys. I hit it on the 24th, senior gold. Okay. And then I was like, oh, well, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Right. I was like, okay, can I do what I did in like that amount of time? Can I do this in a week? Right. Because going from senior gold to ruby is 250 to 500. Right. I was like, what is the worst thing that can happen? I am just going to absolutely go for it. And I did it and I hit 541. Okay. This month, you guys, I'm going for 900. My minimum goal, you guys, on here, it only goes to 786 because then I ran out of room. My minimum goal is 750. 750 by itself is going to be hard. I am 19 people away. Like I literally don't have enough people in my back office right now to hit Senior Ruby. I need 19 people to hit Senior Ruby, and I want to go farther than that. Okay? So why am I saying all this? You have to believe that you can do it. You have to set goals and then say, okay, I hit my goal. Now what will I do next? Okay? This is a strategy. This is a strategy. Okay? Is belief. Now I'm going to say this, okay? You have got to be extremely conscious of the voices in your head. I am talking everybody. I am talking your team. I am talking your sidelines. I am talking podcast you're listening to. Okay. I remember listening to a network marketing podcast where I finished it and I felt frustrated and I felt embarrassed and I felt ashamed and I should be doing more of this and more of this. And Matt was like, stop listening to that podcast. You have to listen to things that are like, I can do this. I can absolutely do this. I'm going to grab this information. I'm going to take it and I'm going to run with it. Right. Okay. Here are the voices in my head, you guys. Number one is Jessie Lee. She is on Instagram. She has stage 4 cancer and the doctor told her she was going to be dead by October. Right now, though, you guys, she is the #1 network marketer in the world. There are some months that she makes $1 million a day. She has personally sponsored 12,000 people. I listen to her daily. She knows what she is doing. Her podcast is The People's Mentor. Okay. Yes, she is not like me. She has very crass language and she says things that I would never do or whatever, but she is a fantastic network marketer. Okay. She's obsessed with network marketing. All right. Number 1. All right. Number 2 is Fraser Brooks. I don't listen to him every day, but his podcast is the Network Marketing Ninja, I believe is his podcast. Okay. Just listen to a little bit of it. All right. Number 3 is Craig, and I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but it's like Grosso. And he did like a leadership podcast and a momentum podcast recently, you guys, that were literally like mind blowing. Leaders don't press snooze. Leaders do this. Leaders do that. And I was like eating it up. It is so good. Okay. That's number 3. Number 4 is Alex Hermosi. I don't really love his podcast. It's just okay. It's kind of over my head, but his reels are incredible. Okay. And his wife's reels are really, really, really great too. That's Alex Hermosi. Number 5 is Daniel G. He was actually the speaker at our Ruby's retreat. So I've gotten to meet him in person and he is the real deal. He doesn't have a podcast. His reels are literally Daniel G. Yes, Lila. Yes. Okay. And then of course, Ed Milet. You cannot have a great list without Ed Milet, right? And of course I like throw in John Maxwell and other people, but these are the people I listen to every day because their voices are confident and consistent and make you believe that you can do anything. So number 1 is belief, strategy, all the things. All right. Number 2 strategy is recruiting. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you what I do, and then I'm going to give you an example of a team below me that is also moving very, very quickly, that is doing all the opposite things that I am doing for recruiting. Okay. So that you guys can have 2 totally different pictures. Okay. All right. So number 1 is I am producing massive amounts of content. I'm going to talk a little bit about Instagram. I'm going to talk a little bit about Facebook. Whatever you guys are doing, these principles are generally the same. I am on Instagram. Okay. So I produce massive amounts of content. Today, I've already done 2 reels. I put out my first reel this morning while I was laying in bed. Okay. 0 overthinking. You do not have time to overthink. Okay. I put up my phone. My first reel today, or my second reel today, you guys, is literally folding laundry. I just set up my phone and I folded my laundry, which I had to do anyways. That's it. Then you go, you find a trending audio, you put it on, you put some words on the screen and you call it a day. That's it. Stop overthinking things. You got to do massive amounts of content. Okay. I do like 5-second videos. Honestly, one of my reels that has done the best was 1 second long. It was Matt and me walking towards our car. I throw him the keys and it like went crazy. Okay. Because it's relatable. I'm like, hey, I just throw my husband the keys, right? And then he takes me out for coffee and I just sit in the seat and la, 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 right? But people related to it. Okay. I do 3 posts a day. Then in my stories, I show up a lot. And I show up, you guys, I show up as myself. So yeah, I talk about my big goals. Yes, I talk about like, I don't know, all the things, but I also shared today that my 2-year-old is pulling her hair out and it's so frustrating, you guys. It's so hard for me to watch, but I share that on my stories because people have got to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, don't obviously overshare, right? Because then people are going to get the wrong idea, but be vulnerable, be authentic, be yourself. Okay. I was listening to Alex and Rosie this morning, and he said, increase your leads and you increase your income. Increase your leads and you increase your business. They are directly related. If you are only talking to 5 people a month, okay, I'm going to give you some of my numbers. Okay. I was talking to Emily Roberts about this morning. If I talk to 20 people, I can get 1 to sign. Okay. Now remember, I only talk to strangers. Okay. My family was not interested. My church family was not interested. No one was interested. So I talked to strangers. That's cool. It's great. It's whatever. Okay. If I talk to 20 strangers, 1 of them pretty much is interested. If I send my cart out, if I literally get to the point of sending my cart out, probably 3 out of 4 will not sign. Thus, if you want to be constantly recruiting people, you have got to be talking to a lot of people. It is a no-brainer, right? Okay. And I talk to everybody about everything. I do stories, and I do stories in such a way that people message me. And then when they message me, I start conversations. Do I turn into Plexus? Sometimes, but most often I'm literally just talking to people, voice messaging back and forth. A normal day for me, you guys, I'm probably talking to at least 40 people, and most of them are non-Plexus conversations. I just talk to moms. People ask me about homeschooling stuff, and I talk to them. It doesn't take all day. Send 20-second voice message back, okay? But you got to be talking to the people. Okay, I'm trying to think. If you don't have new eyes on your account, if people are not asking you for information, then you have got to ask them. Okay, so let me talk about this team below me. Okay, they're under Marianne. They are all in a remote little town in Kentucky, and they only work Facebook and they only work locally. They have their meetings at like a playground, okay, like a weekly meeting, and they are just going crazy with friending on Facebook. They do a lot of cold messaging, but it's also working because they're doing so much action. And so much connection. And that's another thing, you guys. Really, recruiting comes down to 3 words, okay? All out action. That's pretty much what I've been doing. Okay? If you're feeling discouraged, go live. Okay, that'll probably get you in a better mood. And then what I did at the end of last month, so basically my strategy all last month, and I'm doing the same strategy this month, is tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of talking to people, tons and tons and tons of content. And at the end of the month, what I did last month was I put up the magic post. Hey, I'm looking for 6 people, except I said 20 people. I'm looking for 20 people that want, you guys know the magic post. That's what I'm going to do at the end of this month as well. Okay, so basically then you're going to get all the people that were on the fence to order. Then you're going to rinse and repeat, do the exact same thing again this month, right? And you're going to go from there. Okay, your goal every single day needs to be, this is the minimum, it needs to be sign a level 1 or help a level 1 sign a level 1. Sign a level 1 or help someone on your team sign a level 1. That is your minimum, you guys, minimum, okay? Drop into curiosity. Sadie Hirschwitz says that all the time. Drop into curiosity. Ask your brain. Oh, I'm going to tell you guys about this in a second. Okay. So this is what I mean by drop into curiosity. Okay. I woke up this morning and I was like, interesting. My points are here. My points need to be here, right? For me to hit my goal. So I need 4 new team members today. I wonder how that's going to happen. Okay. And then your brain starts to give you ideas because you're like, there is no other option. I was saying to myself over and over this morning, not hitting your goal is not an option. Not hitting your goal is not an option. Not hitting your goal is not an option. So then your brain says, well, here's an idea. And what I've been doing, you guys, is basically doing every single idea that comes to my brain, even if it's crazy, even if it's risky, even if it's like super out there, I am just trying things. Okay. So here's some of the things that I've tried. Number 1 is I'd followed up with a few people and they just kept ghosting me, but like they were kind of interested. So what I did, there were 6 of them. What I did was I messaged them and I was like, hey, just letting you know, this is the final time that I'm going to message you. If you would like to order, please let me know. All 6 of them ghosted me. So I crossed their names off. Okay. Because I don't want to just keep following up with people when they're really not interested. Right. Okay. Here's another thing is you have the final word, not them. So what I used to do was someone would write to me and they'd be like, I'm going to go ask my husband or I'm going to go research. And I used to say, okay, sounds great, exclamation point. And now what I do is I'm like, oh my goodness, that's awesome. Listen, we're having a party tomorrow night. Why don't I add you to that? And then you can, as you're thinking about it, or as you're talking to your husband, you can look through all the information. Most of the time, they're going to say yes. Okay. The other thing we do is we have a testimony page. So I say, hey, let's friend each other on Facebook. And I'm going to add you to the testimony page. I don't ask. I say, this is what's going to happen. I am so excited that you're going to go do some research. The perfect place for you would be our resource group on Facebook. My name is Tricia Regar. Go friend me, and I'm going to add you. Okay. Sometimes they don't, but I would say most often they do. Okay. Basically validate the fact that they want more information or whatever, and then give them more information. You have the final word. Okay. Okay. I'm going to talk about my customer chat with my last crazy idea that I did here in a second. So, all right. So strategy number 1 is belief. Strategy number 2 is recruiting. Strategy number 3 is retention. Okay. Okay. People talk about follow-up systems. I'm going to tell you right now, I had a follow-up system that was not working. About 3 months ago, and go into my back office, I arranged level 1s, level 2s, new. And my level 2s, you guys, about 80 to 90% of them were quitting within 30 to 60 days. It was like horrific, like beyond horrific. Okay. And my level 1s were maybe like 50%. So I said to myself, this is not working. And I had a follow-up system. Like I followed up with people like 4 times a month, and I taught my level 1s to do the same. But clearly it was not working. If something is not working, you have to change it. It's that simple. It's that simple, right? Okay. So what I created was a thing called customer chats. Okay. I do not ask. I do not ask. The person signs up. Okay, person signed with me this morning. I said, hey, Amy, oh my goodness, I am so excited that you signed up with me, right? I'm going to be adding you to our August challenge group. That's what it's called, August challenge group, which is basically customer support. I'm going to drop resources, videos, getting started guides, all the things that you will need to be successful as you're getting started with your products. What do you think they respond? OMG, that sounds awesome. Of course they want to be supported as they get started, right? Of course they want their questions answered. Then I drop them in the chat. And then every 2 days, I just drop something in there. Okay. I drop a video. I drop a testimony. What did I do today? Alita Langford's What to Expect When You Start Plexus. That's what I dropped in there today. Okay. And then I say, watch and drop an emoji. So we have some engagement. Okay. On Fridays, I give something away. I did something very crazy this past Friday, which I'm about to tell you. But on Fridays, typically I give something away. It is an incredible opportunity to have your people exposed to other products besides the triplex and weight loss. Okay. So what I did this past week was active. So I just searched all the info I could find on active. I put it in there without overwhelming them. Right. And then I said, today we're giving away a bag of active. There are 3 flavors that they get exposed to. Oh, there are 3 flavors. I said, drop which flavor you would want if you want. Okay. And so then they're all dropping which flavor they want. Right. And I put my levels 2s and 3s in there too. Okay. I told my level 1s, I was like, it's not mandatory, but please put them in there. So they put them in there, generally speaking. Okay. That means I've got a ton of people in this group. Okay. If they want to leave, they leave. I would say probably like 10% leave, maybe less than that. But most of the time they stick around because they like the added value and they like the giveaways, things like that. Okay. If we do a party and the party, okay, Sarah, like, I don't know, maybe 16 each or something. I don't honestly know. If we do a party, and the parties are part of my retention system, so I'm going to say that in a second. But if we do a party, I say in my customer chat, hey guys, I am hosting a 15-minute event on either Instagram or Facebook. I do both. I'll be like, if you literally for attending, no, drop an emoji or whatever, and I will add you. But I'll say simply for attending, I'm going to enter you to win like an Anthropologie mug. They're very inexpensive. They're like $14, or you can get them even cheaper. It is so worth it. Okay. This is why parties are part of the retention system, because the goal of retention systems, right, is exposure to the products and layered belief. Okay. And the more they see the products, the more they see other people taking the products. I mean, some people are in there and they're like, hey, I'm drinking my hydrate today. And then someone else is like, hey, what's hydrate? Right? So it's like a conversation thing, right? Okay, so what I did this past Friday. So my points, again, were not where I wanted them to be. And I said to myself, okay, Tricia, you really, really, really want these people to be, these are all new in August people. You want them exposed to new products. What are you going to do? So at like 4 p.m. on Friday, I wrote in there and I said, guys, this is really crazy. Okay. So please just do with this what you will. I wrote in there and I was like, guys, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I will probably never do this again. Right. But from now till midnight, if you order any product, if you place a manual order for any product, I will give you $20 off. Okay. And I said, or if you go sign one person, like your husband or your mom or your sister, I will give them $20. Okay. What do you think happened? They went and they ordered products because like I had a girl like place an $80 order for a bunch of products. I have people doing collagen. I have people buying Hydrate. I have people buying Active. I have people buying Ease. I did an Ease product giveaway last Friday, and I cannot even tell you how many people on my team now, brand new, are now all using Ease. They didn't start with Ease, but they're all using it because I've highlighted it and I've done stuff with it, right? Like I said, it was a crazy thing, but I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. Okay. All right. This is actually the first thing I do when I sign someone. This is the first thing I do. The first thing I do is I write them a handwritten letter and I say, hey, Sarah, so excited for you to try Plexus. Enjoy these yummy flavors. I love working with you, Tricia. Okay. And then I send them 2 active or 1 hydrate or 2 hydrate and 1 active. That's it. Okay. Now, why do I do that? And to be honest with you guys, I complained to my husband because it was taking me forever and my hand was cramping. Okay. I was like, why am I doing this? And Matt's like, this is as important as anything else you do. This is as important. People get the note. Oh, and the other thing I do, you guys, the other thing I do is I send them a frother. Okay. I send them a frother. They are $7.99. We got a business Prime account literally for this. So shipping is always free. This is why I do this. Okay. I want my people sticking around. I want them sticking around. I want them falling in love and becoming completely obsessed with the products. And I want to give them 10 out of 10 excellent customer service. Okay. If you went and you bought something from any small business, yes, I do padded envelopes. Yes. Okay. Matt buys like a whole bunch from Amazon or something. I don't know. They're pretty inexpensive though. Okay. I really believe it's the time and then the money investment. Okay. But I think it's worth it because they are getting every single one of my new level ones is getting 3 packages in the mail in their first 2 weeks. They are getting a frother from Amazon. And what I say to them is, I'm so excited for you to get started. I'm sending you a frother so that your pink drink will mix up perfectly every single time and you will never see a clump. Because what I was dealing with in my follow-up system was they were all complaining about the pink drink and clumping, like all of them. And it was getting really annoying. And I was giving them all these ideas. How many people do you think have had an issue since I sent them the frother? Zero. Okay. People say in sales to like address the objection before the objection comes up. That's basically what I'm doing. Okay. So they're getting 3 packages in the mail. They're getting the frother from Amazon. They're getting a handwritten note plus samples from me. Okay. And that's a great question, Brooke. And they're getting the package from Plexus. My younger sister does a lot of this stuff. And then Matt bought a label maker. And so he literally just puts their addresses in and it prints off the labels and that's it. But yeah, my sister does a lot of the work because there's no way that I could do all of this. Right? And then she needs the money too. So it's perfect. But that's what I do for the retention system. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Happy customers turn into business builders that won't show up. I was a happy customer, right? Clarita, who's my sponsor, sent me a handwritten note with samples. And do you know what I did with them, guys? I'm pretty sure I either threw them away or I stuck them in my drawer and I was like, this is really stupid. These products aren't going to work anyway. So what's the point? But it made an impression on me, right? Okay, this is what I was going to say. If you order something from Amazon or a small business, what do? They send you a handwritten note and they send you like, if I buy these, guys, I'm obsessed with these sweatshirts. Almost every single one of the Etsy shops I send, right? They send me a handwritten note and they send me a gift card. Almost every single one of them. Here's 10% off your next order. Here's 20% off your next order. Almost all of them. Why? Because it's 10 out of 10 customer service. You want these people sticking with you. You do not want one-time orders. Okay, let's talk about duplication and then I'm done and then I will take questions. Okay. Here is my very, very wise words about duplication. I'm going to spend such a long time talking about it. That's a joke. This is all I'm going to say. Okay. Energy will duplicate. Energy will duplicate. Andrea was just saying in my chat before, because I asked Andrea if she would go leave some voice messages in my chat. She was just saying, you guys, literally the number one most important thing is expectations. Expectations, okay? I assigned a business builder who told me right from the bat, because she came into it with a business mindset. I hardly ever sign anyone for the business, but I happened to sign her for the business. And she said to me right from day one, she was like, I'm going to lead with the business and follow up with the products. And I was like, sounds great. But what do you think she's doing? What do you think her team is doing? They are joining kind of for the products, but they're also immediately telling people about the business. And it's duplication is like literally like not even a thing. It just happens. It just happens. And I was trying to put into words how it happens, but I'm like, I don't even know. Like, it's so casual and it's so chill. Like, the aunt signed, and then the aunt immediately signed her husband. And then I was like, okay, great. Now let's go get your aunt to sign, 2 more people. And then suddenly her aunt is in my business chat. And I'm like, what is even going on? Right? I had a new girl come in and she signed someone, and she just wrote to me this morning and she's like, Katie's got someone to sign. And I'm like, how is that even happening? But it's because they came in with the expectation, I am building a team. I'm building a team and everybody signs at least one person. And if you think to yourself, everybody signs at least one person, guys, a lot of people are going to sign one person, like a lot. Okay. I have people that have signed their sister and that's it. I have people that signed their husband and that's it. I have people that have signed their mom and that's it. Okay. Back to the party. What I do in the parties is, and I've been doing parties with like Amber Miller. We're kind of tag teaming it, which is amazing. Tag team with another diamond, you guys. It's like the best ever. But what we started doing is at like 4 p.m., a few hours before the party, we just put up a picture of a Stanley tumbler because obviously they're all the rage. We're like, add a friend to this party and you're entered to win a Stanley tumbler. And then all these people that told me like, I'm not interested in the business, they all start adding a friend. And you guys, here's another thing. Is don't be afraid to message people. I message people immediately. Like, I don't overthink it. I'm constantly in their inbox, constantly. All my people. Okay. So if they add a friend, I immediately message them with a voice message. I'm like, oh my word, you just added someone. Who is it? Right. They're like, oh, it's my sister. And I'm like, oh my word, that's amazing. Right. Okay. Totally forgot to tell you about the credit card declines. Okay. Every single night before you go to bed, go into your back office and arrange by order status. And it's going to, arrange by subscription, right? And it's going to come up whose subscriptions are going to run that night. When you wake up in the morning, press order status and see whose orders went through, whose credit cards declined. And literally, you guys, what did I say? You have no time for negativity. You have no time for literally anything except for action. Okay? You're going to immediately send them a voice message. I don't care if it's 5 a.m. I don't care if it's whatever time it is. You're gonna send them a voice message and you're gonna be like, oh my word, I saw that your credit card declined and blah, blah, blah. Okay. So run as hard as you can. Run as hard as you can. Okay. And be casual but bold. Be casual but bold. Like, say really, really bold things, but in like such a chill, like this is just like so chill. Like, of course you would sign one person. It's such a win-win. You're gonna give them your give 10 code, and then you're gonna get 25 extra in product credit, and then like you're gonna have 35 in cash. And they're like, well, that sounds awesome. Like, how do I share a card? And I'm like, boom, right here it is. And they're like, okay, cool. Casual but bold.
Okay, here's what's amazing is everyone's like you can almost see like the oh my gosh, that's so much information. It's take one thing. Like, take something and just go with it right now. Like, as soon as you jump off this call, go, okay, what's my one thing I'm going to do, or I'm going to think, or I'm going to boldly go into conversation. I'm going to be casual and I'm going to get into a conversation. I'm going to make like, who are my 20 people that I'm in a chat with right now? Like, where does this go from here? So I just think, like, take one thing from today and like put it into action today, and then add something to it tomorrow. Okay, now we're going to do Q&A, and I really want to be mindful of time and respectful of Tricia's time. So like, unmute and ask your question and be bold and casual with your question. Here we go. Who's got a question for Tricia?
I'd love to jump in and ask really quick. Okay, so I love it. I think this is the third call that I've been on that you've done, and I still have like 2 pages of notes. And every time I'm like, I'm gonna get it. I promise I'm gonna get it. But my question is, as we're developing, like when you said energy is amazing, contagious, all of that. But as far as casting vision of your big goal, like you want to be 900 points. How many level ones, like if you're developing new gold legs, or do you have somebody pushing for senior gold? Like, is this massive level one recruiting and everybody getting one? Or do you have a few runners who are like, yes, we're doing this with you, who are now gold and maybe pushing for senior gold as you're pushing for senior ruby?
Okay. I have a big reason why I hit Ruby was because I have a brand new, she joined me at convention, girl, like I described, who this month is going for senior gold. But the only reason why she joined me, I really believe, is because I, at convention, made multiple reels with very big energy of I am going to the top again. Who is going to do this with me?
Perfect. Love it.
I can't imagine nobody has a question after all of that.
Okay, I've got a question. So you say, I'm going to the top. Who's going with me? Do you do a lot of business posts? I know you do mostly Instagram, I'm mostly Facebook, but do you talk about your journey and ask people to go with you? And how often, like the percentage of, you know, reaching out about gut health and products and everything versus reaching out about the business do you do?
Okay, that is also a very good question. So I was doing business posts, and to be honest with you, I got a bunch of people that wanted money but didn't have work ethic. And so I had to pivot again. And so mostly I would say I share my story. Like I share like, here's where we were, here's where we are now, but I don't like specifically tie it into plexus. I kind of let people like figure that one out, but I mostly am talking products right now.
Okay, good. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I have a super quick question. You are super active and very busy all the time. Do you find that you're attracting people who also are super active, want to be super active, or do you feel like maybe some people run away eventually because they see how much work you're putting into the business? Or all three, all of the above? I don't know.
Oops. Okay, there I am. I think that in my chat, I have every type of person. I think I've got the people that like do a little bit of work. You know, there's the girl that's like been at senior silver for 2 years. And then I've got the people that are like, I'm running and let's do this. And I have a business chat that's my levels 1, 2, and 3 that's separate from my customer chat. And in there, I'm just constantly like answering questions and casting vision to everybody. And then if people want to run, they run. That's kind of.
Yeah, I like that. I like that train of thought. If they want to run, they run. Like there's nothing I can do or anyone can do to make them want to do that. It has to be their choice.
Yes. And what I experienced with Matt's team for 4 years was that if you are running with the wrong type of person, you will end up thinking you are a really bad leader, when it's actually, I think, the people that you are attracting or the people that you're working with. And I would rather spend 80% of my time with 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, right? Keith Callahan, who's at the top of Beachbody's, like, all you need is 5 people. Go get your 5 people.
That
Tricia,
almost makes me want to cry. Like I sincerely appreciate you. Like that's freeing. What you just said is freeing. Thank you.
Tricia, I'll jump in too, because when you did your live on the diamonds page, I was like tracking, because you talked about the shift out of working Matt's Emerald account, which obviously is still, you're still working that account, but you talked about shifting into kind of the ownership. And maybe will you talk a little bit about how time with the people whose belief is not there, how that was stealing from you and how you're handling it?
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. Like I went to Ruby's retreat, you guys, my team's Ruby's retreat. Okay. I'm a diamond with very decent points. Okay. They called the diamonds up on stage And I literally walked up. There's a picture of me with another diamond where I'm literally not standing up straight. And that I want you guys to know, like, they call the diamonds up. We're all there. They hand me a microphone and they're like, tell us about yourself. And in my brain, I'm like, you do not belong. You are not good enough. You are a failure. Okay. So it is a terrible, terrible waste of your time to work with people that do not want to, because you've got to find, even if it's just a handful of people who are like, yes, we love your vision and we're going to go all at it. And I feel like what this has given me is the freedom to be like, Tricia, you run as hard as you can. And if people are like, well, you're running too hard, or you're doing this or that, or you're recruiting too many people or whatever, like, I'm literally not listening to it, because I'm like, I am showing you what is possible. Let's do this.
I don't think, I mean, that's that of everything you said. And this is like, I'm like Sarah Marble. This is the third time I've heard you speak recently. When you say the belief is the most important, and I feel like it goes over a lot of people's heads because their belief is crap. I'm like, if you don't take care of your belief, and your belief is what your runners say sometimes. And I think, I'm curious, have you had any runners that you've had to, or let me say that, have you had any high rankers or people with businesses that you've had to step back from because their belief was bad? And how'd you deal with that?
I actually had to block someone.
Wow.
Yeah. It was really, really bad. Matt was like, and this is pretty recently, but Matt was like, your energy is completely different. Like, you have got to stop talking to this person. This is so bad. This is so toxic. And she was my level 1, you know, and I'd run and run and run and run and run with her. But they have to be the owner of their business. You cannot wake them up in the morning, you guys. If there are people that are messaging you with questions that you're like, I'm pretty sure you know the answer to this, and they are whining and they're saying things like, well, everybody else is really moving, but I'm not. Please, please, please stop spending time with them. They will figure it out, or they will quit.
And what I'd love to ask, and what I asked in the chat of everybody on this call, is, which one are you? Are you the one that's pulling people along? Are you the encouragement, or are you constantly pulling into a chat and like kind of Eeyoring into a chat? Like, which one are you? Tigger, which I'm just gonna say, Tricia Regar she's a trigger. She's a Tigger. Like we're all like bouncing along. You're about to put a spring in your tail. Like, we're going along. Or are you the Eeyore? Like, which one are you in your conversations? Okay, Brooke, you're up.
Okay, Trish, I have a question about like levels of coaching and mentorship, because I've listened to some of the stuff. I've had it on repeat because I'm trying to wrap my head around it, as are probably a lot of other people. Like, okay, how do I put all this together, and how do they complement, and the chats and the parties and all the things, which I'm excited about. I appreciate you sharing so frankly. At what level do you go down to? I mean, so you're going to have people who bring in somebody else wants to recruit. I feel like I have the voice in my head that says, you don't coach this level, or this level isn't meaningful. What level do you extend mentorship with and coaching with when these people want to build a business? Because I heard at Leadership Excellence, you know, a fire in the base keeps the whole house. So what are your thoughts on this, since you're building in a way that's just extraordinary?
Okay, most of my time is with levels 1, 2, and 3. And that's literally because I'm building a new team. So that is where I'm spending the majority of my time. I do still have a few people running underneath Matt, but again, they're in my levels 1, 2, and 3. So they're in my same chat. Okay. Megan Ashburn is my level 7, you guys. She's a diamond. I voice message with her. I voice message with my other Jules. My team is very, very deep, but I don't coach them. We like talk to each other, but it's not a ton of time.
I have a question. What do you, as a shy person, I'm only silver. How do you speak to people? Like, as I've heard you say in this video, but what do you say to people as a shy person that I am? Oh, I can't hear you.
Okay, did you say that you're shy?
I am.
Okay, so this is what I want to say. Okay, we had a couple over from church yesterday, and my husband said to me, Tricia, I want to have people over for church. and from church. And I was like, that's not my favorite thing in the world. I really don't like being with people. And
Yes.
Matt said to me, he was like, Tricia, we're going to do it. So we have people over, they leave. And Matt says to me, okay, who's the next person we're going to have over? And I'm like, I need a month. Okay. So I want you guys to know you can have literally any personality. You can be an extreme introvert like myself. Like, I know I come across like this. When I go to convention, you guys, I come home drained, okay? Because I can be like this and high energy and all the things, right? I can have people over, I can engage in lots of conversation, but once they leave, I feel completely drained. But I'm telling you, you can absolutely do this business. What you've got to believe is it's possible for you, okay? And number two is you've got to remember your why. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Because if you believe you have something that other people need to hear, you will push past your fear. You will push past your fear, okay? And you will talk to people.
Yeah, one thing I would say if you're following Tricia is that you see that she adds value to other people's lives that want to follow her. She is literally going, if you want to be a minimalist, if you want to figure out how to raise 7 kids, if you want to figure out how to homeschool, if you want to figure out how to do business with your husband, all of these things, come and I will work this out right alongside you. So you have to figure out how are you adding value and how are you working life out alongside other people. Like, I don't think it's about being shy or being extroverted or introverted or super outgoing, because y'all, we have a lot of really super outgoing, bold, will say anything people that struggle in this business. Like, it's not about truly your personality. I want to say it's what do you believe about what your personality and how, like, goes back to belief. Like, do you believe because you're shy you can't do this? Then you need to believe that that even though I'm shy, I can still add value because I have value here. And so I think it goes back to that core of what are you saying to yourself about who you are and whether or not you can build this business. I just think it goes back to that belief. Okay, who has another question?
Okay, I have one. So here's my question, especially for someone who is a jewel, who's rebuilding all of the things. When I keep hearing the same word over and over as belief, right? Where are places that you like to plug people in, both new and seasoned, to build that belief?
Do you mean belief in yourself, in network marketing, or in the products?
Probably from the business stance, not so much the products.
Okay. I would, those 6 people that I said that I listened to, I would listen to them every single day. Because what I feel like happened was I became obsessed with network marketing. I already loved Plexus. You have to become obsessed with network marketing, because once you realize like how incredible this is, then you want everybody like earning money, and you know what I'm saying? So when Plexus releases the incentives and everything, you guys, there is a part of me that like shares it with the team and stuff. But my real passion and the real thing that I talk to them about every single day is the compensation plan. They could literally take away all incentives, and obviously the incentives help, but all I care about is the compensation plan. Okay. So level 1 rank up bonuses. I mean, that's huge. If you've got a level 1 that hits silver and senior silver, right? And they've got a couple of them, that's hundreds of dollars in their pocket. So that's what I talk to them about all the time is this is how you earn money. This is how you earn money. Read the compensation plan, watch the compensation plan video.
Okay, let's take one more and then let's give Tricia her day back so that she can go hit Senior Ruby and we can all scream and yell the second that we see that graphic come across. Okay.
I have a question.
Go, Christy.
Sorry, my voice is funky. It's kind of like a 2-part question. If you're signing people, are you signing mostly people with triplex?
That's a great question. I only ever give them 2 options. I give them triplex and I give them the basic weight loss package, and I say which one looks better, but I would probably say 70% sign with triplex.
Okay. So then with triplex, and then you're adding a lot of people, and then you're adding a lot of business builders. What is your strategy with, like, if they're going through a detox, teaching your new people, like the duplication of how to teach your new people to take care of them? Because when it's an influx, a lot of people, that's kind of hard to, at least for me, like, manage all of that while you're still doing all of this?
Okay, that's why I created my customer chat, because otherwise I would be completely overwhelmed. The videos that I send are, the first one I send, well, of course, there's Alita Langford's What to Expect When You Start Plexus. Then a few days later, I send Jessica Hugendorn's Realistic Expectations for Your Body Healing, or something along those lines. Then about a week later, I send Nikki Hinkle's I Started Plexus and Now I Feel Worse. And I feel like the same thing is, you address the objection before they even have it. If they're already watching those 3 videos, then I mean, I've had people with crazy little stuff happen on triplex, but they're fine. They're okay with it because they already have that knowledge from watching those videos. Was that both your questions?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Guys, another thing I wanted to say really fast, I forgot to say this, was have an accountability partner that is running as hard as you are. And I don't care who they are. Go find someone who's running as hard as you are. So I have a couple right now, one being Christina Williams. She had messaged me and said, Tricia, what are you doing? And I'm like, okay, so, you know, this is what I'm doing. So every single morning, you guys, every single morning, I send her my points. I screenshot and I send her my points. You know how intense Christina is, right? This morning I messaged her and I was like, I'm at I forget what I said, 472 or something like that, 462. My goal for today is 482. Now, here's the thing with someone with an accountability partner like that, okay, someone who is as intense as you, she does the same thing for me because she's going for a goal too. So she sends me her points, right? Is that you don't go to bed at night until you've hit your goal, because you don't want to write to Christina the next morning and be like, oh, I didn't hit my goal, because it's so freaking embarrassing, right? Find an accountability partner that you will literally be embarrassed if you don't hit your goal. And then she's like, get it, girl. And I'm like, get it, girl, yourself. And then we're moving. So that's what I would say about accountability.
Yes, being an accountability partner with Christina Williams would make me go find someone. I would literally be like going door to door finding that person before I tell Christina I didn't hit my goal. Tricia, you have been such a gift. You have been so gracious. You have been so like just transparent, which I think sometimes we need. I think here's what's amazing is pick something. You do not have to do everything exactly the way that Tricia is doing it. Pick something, do it. If you have not found belief here that you can go from 0 to Ruby/senior Ruby, then you've missed it. You've missed the fact that this is completely possible from ground zero to whatever your goals and your dreams are. If you are willing to put work in, stretch yourself, do some new things, listen to some new voices. I am so excited, Tricia. We are cheering you on to Senior Ruby and beyond, because I have a feeling the beyond is going to happen a lot faster because you are duplicating exactly what you're doing with so many people. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for just spending some time with us today, for pouring out belief and vision. And the cool thing is we're all going to go do it together. So we'll see y'all next week. Bye.